So activity for Thursday. Okay, fractions greater than 1. We are going to be going again from mixed numbers to improper fractions, just like we did yesterday. So we need to go ahead and draw out 2 fraction circles. So let's draw 2 whole fraction circles. And using the fraction, using these, I want you guys to draw out 1 2/3. 1 2/3. So which fraction pieces would we need? Our thirds. We would have to break our circles up into 3 pieces. We are working with thirds. So how many thirds does it take to equal 1 whole? How many thirds does it take to equal 1 whole? 3. 1, 2, 3. It takes 3/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. It takes 3 pieces to equal 1 whole. 3/3 to equal 1 whole. And we want to shade in 1 2/3. So let's go ahead and shade that in. 1 2/3 on our paper. So here's 1 whole. And then 2/3, so 1 whole, and then 2 out of 3 from this model. That is 1 2/3 from this model. So I would write that fraction as 1 whole. And then we have to shade it out of 3. And what is this called? What is this called? This is your mixed number. And from our mixed number, we want to go ahead and write our improper fraction. So how would we do that? And remember, a mixed number has a whole and a fraction. And how can I make this mixed number into an improper fraction? Well, let's look at what we have. How many thirds does it take to cover 1 whole? We said 3. And then how many thirds do we have on this one too? So if I count them all together, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, and 5/3. So I have 5 fraction pieces over 3. 5/3. So these 2 fractions are equivalent. They are equal. We know that these 2 are equal. And this is called your improper fraction. So what we did here was we multiplied 1 times 3 because I have one group with 3. And then I added these 2. So 1 times 3 plus 2. So we did 1 times 3 equals 3 plus 2 equals 5. And then we bring over our denominator, which is 3, because it takes 3/3 to make 1 whole. So let's try this again. Let's go ahead and do 3 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and write the fraction 3 1/2. So 3 1/2. So I would have, what would I draw? I would draw 3 whole, and I would break them up into how many pieces? Well, what does my denominator say? It says 2. So I would break them up into 2 pieces. That's 3, 1 whole, 2, 3. But then I have to shade in half, so I have to draw another circle and break it up into 2 pieces. And now I'm going to go ahead and shade that in. 3, here's 1, here's 2, and here is 3, and then 3 1/2. So here's 3.5. Now let's count. How many halves did we use in our model? We used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. 7 over 2. 1 over 2, 2 over 2, 3 over 2, 4 over 2, 5 over 2, 6 over 2, 7 over 2. So my improper fraction is 7 over 2. My denominator is 2 because it takes 2 halves to make 1 whole. Now let's try our strategy of multiplication and adding. So 2 times 3 is 6. And if we look at our model, I have 3 groups of 2. Here's one group of 2, another group of 2, and another group of 2. So 3 times 2 is 2, 4, 6. Plus 1 is 7. And then we bring over our denominator because our denominator does not change. This we can call that strategy the MAD strategy. We are making our mixed number MAD by changing it into an improper fraction. And this is multiply, add, bring over our denominator. Then we have, so let's do 6. How would I make a whole number into an improper fraction? So if I have the number 6, how am I going to make that number into an improper fraction? So let's go ahead and draw 6 whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this one, break it up in half. What do I have to shade in? Well, I'm going to shade in 6 whole, right? So I would have to shade in the whole thing. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's count. 1 over 2, 2 over 2, 3 over 2, 4 over 2, 5 over 2, 6 over 2, 7 over 2, 8 over 2, 9 over 2, 10 over 2, 11 over 2, and 12 over 2. So my improper fraction is 12 over 2. 12 over 2. Okay, now let's do 1 and 3, 6. 1 and 3, 6. Okay, so let's do 1 and 3 over 6. So I know that my whole is going to be broken up into 6 equal pieces. So I'm going to do 1 whole, and I'm going to break it up into 6 parts. 6. And then from my second circle, I'm still going to break it up into 6. But I'm only going to shade in how many? 3. Because we have 3 over 6. Okay, so let's shade in 1 whole. So here's 1 whole. I'm shading in the whole thing. And then I'm going to shade in 3 out of 6. So 1, 2, 3 out of 6. So now let's do our improper fraction. And how many pieces do I have shaded? 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 6, 8, 6, 9, 6. So 9 over 6. That's my improper fraction. Let's check it with our MAD strategy. And again, your MAD strategy multiply, add, bring your denominator over. So let's multiply 6 times 1. Well, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3. So 6 times 1 plus 3 is 9. And then we bring over our denominator. 3 1/3. So let's do 3 1/3. 3 and 1 over 3. And we are going to draw 3 whole. And we're going to break them up into, look at your denominator. Your denominator is 3. So I'm going to break up my pieces in my whole into 3 parts. 3 equal parts. But then I need another fraction for my 1/3. So I'm going to have to draw one more. So this is 1 over 3. All of them are 1 over 3. And I have to shade in 3 whole. So here's 1 whole, 2 whole, 3 whole, and then 1 out of 3. So let's use our math strategy and then we'll count our pieces. So let's do multiplication. 3 times 3. Well, 3 times 3 is 3, 6, 9. Plus 1 equals 2, 10. So 10, and then we bring over our denominator. So let's see. Here I have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3, 8/3, 9/3, and 10/3. So 10 over 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. 3 in each. 3 in each. Okay. 3 pieces make up my whole. And our last one, 1 1/2. I'm going to draw my one part. And it says half, 1 1/2. So how many pieces am I going to break it into? Break it up into 2 pieces, right? Because it takes 2 pieces to make 1 whole. 2 halves to make a whole. So that's 1 whole, and then I have to do a half. So I'm going to draw another circle. Now we're going to shade in 1 whole and half. I can use my strategy again. 2 times 1 equals 2 times 1 equals 2, plus 1 equals 3. How many pieces in each? 2. So I bring over my denominator. Again, I have 1/2, 2 halves, and 3 halves. And there it is, 3 over 2. Mixed number, improper fraction. So you are going to work on mixed numbers 4, page 1. So you are going to be looking for the shaded, a model that is shaded to show 1 7/8. So make sure you are counting, shading, and labeling. Okay, make sure you are labeling. Number 2 says the model below is shaded to represent a fraction greater than 1. So this is showing you a model greater than 1. Which fraction is represented by the model? So you need to write make sure you're labeling and write your fraction in an improper fraction and a mixed number. Number 3, each of the 3 boys wrote an equation. Brandon wrote 77 over 12 equals 6 and 5 over 12. Julian wrote 67 over 9 equals 7 and 3/9. Miguel wrote 58 over 8 equals 7 and 4/8. Which of these students wrote an equation that is true? So the way you're going to solve this one, boys and girls, is you are going to change the mixed number, change your mixed number into an improper fraction, and then see which one is showing you the correct improper fraction. You can draw it out, you can use the MAD strategy. So for number 3, look at your mixed number and change it into an improper fraction. So you can use the MAD strategy or draw it out. And then you're going to see which of the equations is true. Brandon only. B, Brandon and Julian only. C, Julian and Miguel only. D, Brandon, Julian, and Miguel. So we're looking for the one that is true. And then for concept check, week 5 concept check. On this one, you are going to, using words and illustrations, define the meaning of an improper fraction and a mixed number. So here you're going to draw an improper fraction. You can either use fraction bars or fraction circles, and then you're going to write the definition of an improper fraction. Here you are going to give me an example of a mixed number and write the definition of a mixed number. So you can draw either fraction circles or fraction bars. Write an improper fraction for 7/3, then write the improper fraction as a mixed number. So you're going to go from an improper fraction to a mixed number. For this one right here, 7/3, from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Here you're going to use an illustration or a drawing. So you're going to have to draw to show how you went from an improper fraction to a mixed number. So what you're doing here is you are showing this model right here. This is what you're showing, where you're going from a mixed number to an improper fraction or from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Just showing your models.